Alright, not an expected way on how they're going to release a ride line, but we got a whole promo ride line. So let's begin, and it's based on Tachikaze. Here's the starter, Baby Dragon Gargrex, in which we go to the Grade 1 Wiki Power, Iron Claw Dragon Gargrex, which has a skill auto when rolled upon by the Iron Arm Dragon Gargrex, the Grade 2. Look at top 5 cards of your deck to choose up to one Dinodragon from them, reveal it, of course, put it to your hand, of course, shuffle your deck. Obvious early game setup here is pretty obvious, but the second skill is not your typical ride line skill, because the skill is auto when retired from rear guard during your turn or discarded from your hand during your turn. If your Vanguard is Dinodragon, put this as Soul. Very nice that this could be discard or retire fodder for pretty much any Dinodragon deck that needs it. In which we go to the Grade 2 with 10k power, Iron Arm Dragon Gargrex, which has a skill auto when rolled upon by the Grade 3 Iron Emperor Dragon Gargrex, cost energy plus 3. Look at top 7 cards of your deck to choose up to 2 Dinodragons with different names from among them, reveal it, and put the other in the drop zone, and of course shuffle your deck. Top 7 search is pretty nice, especially filtering out your deck a bit, and sometimes putting to the drop zone can be helpful since it's just drop zone resources, especially with this card itself where at drop zone, if your Vanguard is at least a Grade 3 Dinodragon, cost energy plus 3 to call this to rear guard, with no other restrictions, which is always pretty nice, so you have something to always reoccur, which is basically just another generic for any Dinodragon deck, but right now we have only technically 2. In which now we go to the Iron Emperor Dragon Gargrex, which is the Grade 3 with 13k power, was technically revealed last week, but this is the official one, with the skill count Vanguard during your turn, your front row Dinodragon rear guards get plus 5k. I wish that it's all Dinodragons instead of just rear guards, since it would just give itself some extra power, but still pretty nice with the power. But anyway, second skill, act Vanguard once per turn, cost discard card from hand, choose up to 2 Dinodragons with different names from drop zone and call them to rear guard, and if you discard a Dinodragon for the cost, choose one of your opponent's rear guards and retire it. Pretty nice, pretty much a -1 for a +2, with no counterblast restrictions, so it cannot counterblast deny you for your opponent. And also, since you're retiring your Dinodragons anyway, having a way to reoccur them is just pretty nice, especially that discarded card could also be just another call. And adding a way to retire your opponent's stuff is also pretty nice. But anyway, the last skill is Auto Vanguard once per turn. When this card attacks, cost count +1. If you have at least 2 Dinodragons with different names on your rear guard, plus 10k power. And if you have at least 3 with different names, drive +1. And you have at least 5 while you Persona ride during the turn, crit +1 at the end of the battle. So basically, the bigger army you got, the stronger it gets. And considering that this could reoccur its board despite being retired at the end of the turn, this is overall pretty nice, even if it's a promo budget deck. The only gripe I have is the crit +1 because it requires Persona ride during the turn as well. But in that, the power gaining and the extra drive and the plus scene from this card is pretty nice. The only thing is, do you really have good Dinodragons? Because right now, most of the Dinodragons are basically just support or just generics. And now to a support card, Scourging Cannon Dragon Dino Beam, which is a Grade 0 with 5k power, and the skill is auto rear guard once per turn when you're at least Grade 3 Gargrex attacks, and if you do not stand by this card ability this turn, cost energy blast 3 to stand this unit and plus 5k power in the end turn, and at the end turn retire this unit. Kinda rare to see a Grade 0 multi-attacker, but that's basically what it is, it's a Grade 0 multi-attacker. Yes, it's only 5k on its own, but with Gargrex plus another 5k and plus a booster, it's not entirely too bad, you can still hit some stuff, and considering that it restands with another 5k, it's going to be 15k on its own without a Persona ride turn, so overall it's not too bad for a basically restanding rear guard. And into a card for set 10, which is a generic for Dinodragons, Bus Fire Dragon, which is Grade 2 with 10k power, and the skill is auto rear guard when this card attacks a Vanguard. If your Vanguard is at least a Grade 3 Dinodragon, plus 5k power at the end of the battle, and then at the end of battle, retire this unit and draw a card, and this ability is mandatory. This is just pretty good for any Dinodragons, especially for those that can keep reoccurring their board, and it's just basically free. In which we go to the Skyride promo, Festival Gun Dragon Dino Fest, which is Grade 1 AK power, and the skills auto rear guard when this card boosts if your Vanguard is at least a Grade 3 and your opponent has no rear guards in the same columns unit, plus 5k in the end of battle. That might not always happen, but with Gargrex's case it does have retire, so it can happen. But the second skill is auto rear guard at the end of battle, this unit boosts, and if either you have more rear guards than your opponent or your opponent's rear guard was retired this turn, cost bind this unit. Look at the top 5 cards of your deck to choose either one Grade 2 or greater unit, or one Dinodragon normal unit that is not Sentinel with a different name from this one, and put it to your hand and of course shuffle your deck. Damn, this is actually pretty good for many Dragon Empire decks, even better in Dinodragons. Yes, it does bind itself so you can't continually looping it unless if you're playing a bind zone heavy deck, but being able to search from your top 5 for a Grade 2 or greater unit for those decks that are heavy with it, it's just pretty nice. As for Dinodragons, it could just be anything practically. And finally, here's some of the Dinodragons that might actually be good for the deck. And then here's the free deck list that they gave out that they're going to do in a giveaway. And it's just basically all Dinodragons, including the generic PG. Does give some ideas if you want to build the deck. And finally, next week, we got some more support for Leo Odium and Blue Deathsters. And so that's it for this, for the Gargrex Rhyline. What do you guys think of it? Being a full-on promo Rhyline is just a surprise to me. If anything, this could have been in a full-on booster set, but I'm surprised that this was a promo Rhyline. But overall, a pretty cool boss unit that represents Tachikaze basically. Even if it's not that great, it does have some decent capability in the future. But in that, that's it for this, and see you all next time.